how good was the bye week for you guys?
The bye week's always good. Mike usually gives us a little bit more time than most places, obviously, because he knows, how much it wears down on you throughout the year. So I thought the bye week was good, productive, and always fun.
What did you do? Did you get away? You stay here?
No, I was here for a little bit, just playing some 2K and some Madden, and I just went back to Harrisburg, watched my son play football. So that's always good.
What's one of the biggest challenges in facing Matthew Stafford in an offense that has weapons like Pua and Kupka?
It's always a great challenge. Obviously, he's a Super Bowl champion. He knows how to make all the passes, all the reads, look you off, things like that. Super dynamic. The record don't show how really good they are. So we definitely got our hands full going into this Sunday.
How much do you look at how they handled other elite pass rushers like yourself and how they handle them and get an idea of what their plan might be for you?
I mean, you look at it, but everyone's different. Every game is different. I mean, I might see how they might block T.J. Watt, but they might handle me a little bit different. I mean, that's all part of the game. It's chess, adjusting throughout the game and things like that. So I just know I probably got my hands full going into Sunday.
Is that the fun part for you, just trying to make them try to figure out what you might do?
Yeah, for sure, and where I'm going to be at and how to find me. And I thought, Dan's been doing a great job in putting me inside, outside, things like that, to make it harder for them.
A lot of times we ask quarterbacks, like when they're going up against another quarterback, for you as a defensive player with Aaron Donald on the other side, like how much first admiration do you have for what he's done and going up against a team that he's on?
Obviously Aaron Donald, it's probably a lot of kids' heroes growing up, and the things he's done in this league is just things that haven't been done. Once again, he's a Super Bowl champ, and I mean, it's just amazing what he's accomplished over the last 8-9 years or so. So obviously super excited, always happy to play against him. Always keep that in the back of my head when I'm playing, just because I might surprise him or, we've obviously talked over since I've been in the league, so, it's just always good.
The Rams are pretty much an 11 personnel the entire game. What comes with that as a defense when you know that's their way that they're going to attack you?
It comes over like it's they basically saying we're going to do this and you just got to stop it. And, they've been very successful with it. And it just speaks to, who they believe in. They believe in their skill guys. They believe in what they have. So that's what it's all about.
You were on the verge of a third straight game without a sack when you had that kind of game-defining play against the Chargers. How do you kind of hang in there as the games pile up without him and you're kind of waiting for a big moment like that?
You just got to say one thing about this league. You just got to be try to be consistent as possible. Never get too high, never get too low. Understand that people are trying to take you out the game. People don't want you to ruin the game. And you just got to be a guy that's going to willing to, risk it all. And, every time I step on that field, obviously I want the big plays, the sacks. And, I want to be dynamic as possible. But, the likelihood and what they're trying to do against me, and it just always sums up. And I got to do a better job of creating more opportunities for myself.
Do you go into every snap kind of thinking that could be the snap that is
the
play
yeah,
of the game?
If I could go out there and have 50 sacks, I could. I wish I could. If they passed it 50 times, I wish I got 50 sacks. So, of course, I wish every play, sometimes you might get there, the ball might come out fast. Sometimes you get there, it could be a screen, it could be a draw, like whatever it is, things where you feel like this is your opportunity. Or, one time you think, I got a nick on this guy, and next thing you know, they chip you, or next thing you know, they slide in the way. It might be spread out to the right. It's just different things just try to throw you off and take you out of your rhythm.
But you know that the rushes are there, and if you keep rushing, you're going to get home at some point.
Yeah, at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to keep going no matter what.
Across the hall, what, if anything, do you get out of that change of pace in terms of the voice in the room perspective?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is just staying competitive, staying with my leverage, being more violent with my hands, and things like that.
You're a fan of the game. Do you watch the Cleveland defensive end? You watch T.J. Watt? You talked about Aaron Donald. How much football did you watch? You did enjoy watching them play this week?
Oh, yeah, I watched a lot of football this week. It's freaky what they do. I mean, obviously I saw the Rams game plan against T.J., and it was to take him out the game, and Highsmith had a hell of a game. So, I mean, that's what it's all about. You got to feed. They feed off each other. And obviously, you see what Miles done. I mean, he's just as freaky as it gets. I mean, incredible player. I watched a little bit of the Eagles-Dolphins game. I just love football. Obviously, if I'm gonna talk about it, I gotta watch it.
You do talk a lot about football. Are you surprised that the national media came at you last week?
Nah, I'm the face. I'm giving them their content. They basically stealing my content and they wrong. They doing exactly what I said they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Whether we win or lose, they gonna have something to say. And people think I'm shying from criticism. No, criticism not the problem. Just criticize everyone on the same energy. I don't know. They just as big as bullies as these other guys. They trying. I don't know. People decide who and when should get breaks too. I wasn't raised like that. I treat everybody the same. I'm gonna talk about everybody the same, get everyone the same benefit of the doubt. That's the type of real person that I stand on. A lot of these dudes ain't real.
You guys coming out of the bye week, you're 4-2, and you gained some ground in the NFC by virtue of the Lions suffering another loss, 2-game losing streak from the 49ers. How important is it for you guys to make a strong run coming out of the bye week?
It's extremely important, especially now that we're heading into November and in October. This is when it really starts to pick up the heat of the schedule, the strength of the schedule, and things like that. So it's important that we rally together, really come together, face the injuries and adversity we faced early on, accept what we have and build what we have.
Because you have a strong voice and you do defend not so much yourself, but the team, do you feel like others are thrown off guard by that? Other media members or other former players who try to attack you guys?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, if you watch the show, I don't even really defend us too much. I accept everything of the reality of what we face. But it is what it is. I really defend other players because I just believe you should stand up for people. I mean, you shouldn't just watch people throw dirt on people's names. At the end of the day, especially former athletes, whoever's on the thing and however you want to do it. I think Ryan Clark does a great job. I think Dan does a pretty good job. Because at the end of the day, it's not about, the player. It's about the person, right? You don't know what that person's going through. Yeah, I could come here and smile and give you guys a great, speech about what we could do this game and things like that. But in reality, y'all would have no idea what's going on at home or what's going on in my life if I didn't tell you to. So if I get on my podcast, if I get on TV and go, XO, whatever quarterback is completely trash, he's shit, he don't deserve to be out there in the field, he's not a guy that should be in the NFL, and this guy worked his whole life to get there, make his moment, get drafted, sustain. The hardest part is staying in the NFL, so he's still here. And somehow this guy don't deserve to get on the field. What am I to do that? Who am I? I'm nobody. I'm a 1% in a huge organization that in 10 years from now, if I'm still here talking to you guys, there will be another Micah Parsons or whatever that you guys is talking to. But I'm just a small piece in this dynasty of this legacy that the NFL has built. So, I mean, who are we to talk about people like that? And, that's one thing that I really feel strongly about is that these guys come and do that, but you wouldn't like if somebody came and talked to you about like that. If you weren't it's like growing up getting picked last. You wasn't the person. If you picked last, you're like, damn, and then they was like, we don't want to play with you, suck, and you felt the type of way. It's almost the same thing, but now you doing it publicly where millions of people see it, and then now you creating their opinion, their narrative, and you really have no idea what this person's opinion, and people actually start to believe these people's opinions. It's a constant cycle of just bad media, bad people, of, tarnishing people's names. Just like when, I don't know if y'all saw the Dodgers baseball player. A lot of people said he was a predator. A lot of people were saying all these bad things about this guy because of these takes that people said about this man, and it turns out he was innocent. People just a constant talk about the media, about how people are just getting thrown down in the media. I don't stand up for that.
You bring a lot of energy and passion about a lot of different subjects on your podcast. How are you able to do that? Are there ever time where you're like, I don't even feel like doing this right now?
Nah, obviously, the podcast, some days, especially after losses, I know I'm going to hear it in the chat and things like that. And obviously, you don't want to hear that always, but in the end, I feel like I got a job to do. I got to almost tell the people what they need to hear, what they want to hear, or what they don't want to hear. That's the job. I know there's some days I don't want to cover this. You know, if we play bad, you like, man, I don't want to put this out, but this is the reality. You know,
So you really think Travis Kelce's playing well because of Taylor
I
Swift?
didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Is that what you're
I
telling
didn't
me?
say that. I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. See, he's taking shit again. He's taking I did not say that.
Micah, for you though, with the Cowboys brand being what it is and your profile rising as quickly as it did, do you almost feel like you have a platform now that you want to use for good and you know for that reason?
Yeah, I always want to use my platform for good, because at the end of the day, like I said, this game goes way far beyond us. It's about the kids that's 5 years old, 10 years old, 15, that look up to us and watching us. So how I handle myself, that's how those guys are going to handle themselves. But if I'm out there showing myself and they think it's okay, then that's what they're going to do. So these kids is imitating us, you know, and that's one thing because I know a million kids look up to Steve Smith. I know a million guys look up, especially young broadcasters look up to Stephen A. and things like that. They look up to us. You know, when you're at the peak of your career, people say, how did you get there? You know, how are you acting? And I think sometimes people forget that sometimes. And I always think anytime you got a platform and you got a voice that people listen to, you should always use it for good.
Last one.
Trayvon had his surgery yesterday. Did you share any messages with him yesterday or today?
Yeah, he could FaceTime me. He was like, yeah, I just got my surgery. I said, you good? You need anything? I know his mom and everything's here. He was like, nah, I'm good. But, you know, that's someone even though if he's good, I'm going to still go over and play the game with him. Just to keep it. Yeah, I play the game with him too much. And I think you see he on with Daz now and everything. He's picked up some new hobbies, still suck at the game. So I'll be trying to give him a couple of tips and things.